Yeah, hi Madhura. First of all, thank you for joining. I think you couldn't join last weekend because you were busy with something. So first of all, absolutely great performance. Congratulations for a 770. And just take us through how you prepared and what your challenges were, and how, if somebody's starting today, what is it that they should take care of, and what your weak and strong areas were, your exam performance and experience, your prep journey, anything in general. Just tell, like, please. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So actually, I had started thinking about GMAT about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I had done basic prep though, like using only the OG guides. I had done I had done all the questions from there, and I could only see like I could get about a score of 690s and somewhere around that in the mocks that I had given. So I was very like, even especially before joining top, I actually used to consider 720 also a pretty good score.
Okay.
So I wasn't
Mhm.
even aiming for anything above 720. I would be very happy if I got a 720 before joining top. And so yeah, I had been preparing that way. And I think you had one of my college mates. I think he prepared under you. His name is Pranav Rudra Batla. Even he prepared under top. And once I had known about his admit, I had spoken to him like, how did you prepare and everything, and he suggested your name, and that's when I decided to join top. And even in the first few classes also, I took a mock immediately that time, and I could see my difference in RC, because Octave really changes the way you think of RC. And it was a tremendous improvement. The whole primary purpose questions which were going wrong for me, they started going completely fine. I started understanding how to read a passage actually. Instead of treating every question as different, I started noticing the pattern in the questions, which was due to these techniques. And that was right off the bat, I was like, okay, this is going well, this is the right decision right there. And yeah, I think RC was the most fundamental change, followed by the whole approach that when you prepare on your own, these techniques don't come to you, right? You don't know these techniques, you don't know this pattern, so you treat every question individually. It takes a lot more effort to do a paper, and you don't know what your mistakes you're making because you can't recognize the pattern. So you're like, oh, this question went wrong, and that's it. You don't know what exactly you're facing an issue with, whether it is primary purpose or this and that. So that was one huge thing which I realized
You
after
don't see
joining.
the patterns, basically. I think that is what one thing you're saying. You just
Yes.
don't see the patterns, right? Right.
Yes, exactly. You treat every question individually. Okay, RC, SCCR, but
Hmm.
what exactly cause effect comes into the
Hmm.
picture, where percentage, number
Hmm.
percentage, issues there, and so all this you only don't notice it, right? You just treat every question individually. You go ahead,
Hmm.
and that was one of the biggest differences I saw when I joined top. And all the lectures, all the techniques, and the first suggestion that you gave, I think, was that first you need to ingrain these techniques and then only move forward to pacing. That really helped, because targeting pacing in the beginning was ensuring that we don't learn the technique properly. It was like, okay, this one worked, but next time it might not work. So having the techniques ingrained in you is more important than
I
first.
always stress that don't even bother about pacing in the first, till the time your lectures are completely done and you've ingrained everything, as you said. So yeah, that's something that is always central to my philosophy. Always that you need to first know how to solve, then you can solve fast. But if you don't even know how to solve, then solving fast is really not helpful here. Yeah. So go ahead, please. Yeah.
Exactly. So the point, accuracy is a huge stress, and that was really a very helpful piece of advice, which actually helped me in the exam a lot, because in the exam, a part of me, so I gave it in the center. So I was a little nervous, since I did not expect the
Hmm.
amount of, I think, security in the exam. So
Hmm.
yeah, so that was there. But because the techniques were so ingrained, I didn't actually have to. It became like it's subconsciously also I could do it. So anyone wakes me up in the middle of the night also, it solves me, gives me an RC passage. I could use it, do it using Octave that way. So in the
Wow, that
exam,
is
even when I
quite
was
nice.
nervous,
Hmm.
yeah, subconsciously also I went ahead with the techniques, even though, okay, I was a little nervous, and I think I was pretty nervous actually, but I went subconsciously. So it went really well that way, that I could spot the things because they were so ingrained. And pacing was not an issue also there.
You did tell
Thankfully.
me over the phone call as well that there was nothing unusual, but just take us through whatever little unusual was there. You said quant took you longer than expected because you used to finish earlier usually, and verbal also. SC, CR, you take us through the prep also and the exam experience overall also, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So SC was something I was usually before top. I used to do it pretty much on intuition. Basic grammars I learned, but then there were some questions like idiomatic, I think, and the rest of them I used to do based on intuition because I was like, oh, there's nothing to learn about this. But yeah, coming to top, I realized that there is so much more. There is nothing to do with intuition at all. It's completely logical. SC is as logical as maths, I guess. Yeah. And CR was one challenge issue even before the exam. I think I spoke to you right before 3 to
Yeah,
5 days before the
DS
exam.
and CR and something.
Yes. So CR was an issue even then. I had actually panicked because one of the mocks I'd given, I had got like I think 5 to 6 CR questions wrong and the rest were fine, but CR was stressed there. So after that, I spoke to you. I practiced a lot, and the days before the exam, I practiced a lot. And then I realized ki, oh, if you practice a lot also, uh, that kind of helps in the exam because now you kind of have an idea of whatever kind of question can come. So in the exam, I saw one thing is that there were a few SC questions which I faced where I was not able to exactly pinpoint what the issue was, but there were subtle issues, meaning clarity, I think. So there were very subtle meaning clarity issues. And that was one thing I saw in the exam in SC. Regarding CR and RC, I think there was nothing unexpected. It was pretty much the same. The longest
Right.
passage I had only 4 paras, and nothing. I don't think there was a single passage where I had to scroll. So that wouldn't appear. And being CR, I think I did not get any paradox question. But yeah, strengthen and yeah, these questions I got, not the normal things, but no paradox questions what I saw. There were flaw questions. I think there were quite a few flaw questions which I got. And that was the thing with our verbal. Verbal went actually perfectly timed for me, right? Like at the last moment, I had the last question, which I would suggest actually don't rely on that. But yeah, perfectly at least. Quant is something which I faced. Like
Take us
I
through
think
your prep also in quant, SC and CR, and then the exam experience as well. Like, what was the prep like for quant, for SC and CR? Maybe quant wasn't so much of an issue for you, but still, just take us through how you prepared, please.
yeah. So quant actually, to be honest, I'm a little weak in maths from the beginning. But quant actually, I went through all the videos again. Once post the lectures, also I went through the videos again. And I sat and solved the 700 to 800 questions first topic wise and then the mixed bag. And I think I leveraged a lot from the portal is that I think I've given every single quant test in the portal. So I recommend that. I mean, I think you see a lot more different types of questions and the timing and the pacing, everything is happened if you take the contests.
Okay.
So I think I took like 20 contests from which are available on the portal. I took pretty much all of them. And that really helped. And I think problem solving, the best thing was where problem solving was still a little okay. With data sufficiency, the whole knowing which cases to consider, like what is the exception to be considered in each case. Okay, this is the case where it won't be true. That kind of technique or that
Even
thing.
till the end, you were struggling a little. You asked me, I think, about a week or maybe 4 or 5 days before the exam also, that like all cases I'm not able to get. Probably that was the question you asked, right?
Yes, yes. And then I went through my notes a little and I remembered that there was a specific class about DS traps and I watched that again. And I was able to identify that you had pointed out exactly 9 numbers when you generally fit these into the fit this into the question, and you know that which case doesn't satisfy. I remembered that, and that really helped. And that actually boosted my quant score because I was a little pretty weak in my quant actually. So that helped.
Take us through SC and CR prep part and then the quant and SC and CR exam experience. You already talked about SC and CR exam part, quant
Yeah.
exam part also later. Yeah.
Yeah. So about SC and CR also, I used to follow the lectures pretty intensively. So I tried to pay complete attention in the lecture sessions, and after that, like you used to give the homework. That is very important to be done diligently because you don't realize that, but they're placed very strategically. And which session is done first, which session is done when, that actually matters a lot. And the technique, because you have, I think, inference is taught in the beginning and then so on, because it's used in RC and CR. So that is that is one of the things I did, is follow the lectures completely. I watched the videos again also later to keep the concepts ingrained ones. And then I did a lot of practice from what the 700, 800 questions itself, 700 to 800 level questions. Because I mean, if you try the tougher ones, obviously the easier ones are also a little done. I also did one thing after the lectures, whatever the videos were provided, I used to pause and try to solve the question on my own also once. And then I would go ahead with your explanation, which I think helped to find out what my flaw in reasoning was, why I chose a different answer sometimes. And that really helped. And again, the portal was really useful for me, as I even leveraged the verbal tests a lot. And the solutions there also, like, it's pretty great. And the verbal tests, because then the pacing part also comes into the picture a little. And you get a mixed bag of questions very well. So I think those questions also were pretty good level, and that was very useful for me, because sometimes you have just an hour of time, and if you sit to read something, it'll be a little it'll take longer than that. So 1 hour I would just sit and give a verbal test and get an analysis of what did I do wrong, which question went wrong, and do that analysis. So I did a lot of those tests quite frequently.
And during the exam, you said you could have done a little earlier, but you got like almost till the end. You took the whole time, right? Something. So
Yes.
what happened there? Just tell us.
So quant is something I usually get done with early, in the sense I finish at least 5 to 7 minutes early, at least generally. But on the day of the exam, for some reason, I felt like the questions, they were not difficult, but they were lengthy. Not in calculative sense, but like suppose like a lot of not exactly calculation, but a lot of deduction had to be done in the question. You have to write a few steps to come to the answer. Not calculative, but logical deduction. So that was there. And they seemed a little longer, even they were basic questions. I didn't have many complicated geometry questions or anything of that sort. But the questions were easy, but it took me till the last minute. I think I had only 1 minute left. That it took that
You
long.
had 50, 44, right? 50 and 44.
Yes, 50 and 44.
And 770. So did you expect going into the exam that it could be 770, or you were expecting, you said 720 would have been a great thing before joining, but did you expect that you had reached that level during mocks or something, or did you not expect?
So during, I think I gave a lot, 5 of the official mocks, but since, like, I think I spoke to you and you also were right to point that out, that when you give an official mock, there are few questions which do come repeated since you have practiced a lot. So we cannot consider, at least in my case, I couldn't consider them as legitimate, since there were a few questions which were repeated every single time. Going into the exam, I was honestly thinking if I would get a 720 or 730, I would write again, definitely. But I would like, okay, that is my level of prep right now, I think so. Or no, my prep was fine, but I was like, okay, I think I need to prepare more. But 720, 730 was what I think I was expecting. So
That's
I did.
fabulous then. So what was the reaction when you saw the 770 then?
I actually skipped this. I skipped the screen because I didn't want to see my result. I was very nervous. But then when it comes to accept the score, I was okay, like, okay, let's accept it and see. And I actually saw it in the sheet directly. I didn't see it on the screen itself.
Really?
Yes.
So if they had not given you that printout, you wouldn't have known your score for a few days. Probably
Yes,
has the score report come now, the official one, or not?
yes, the official one has come up right now.
All
Yeah.
right. So you were that nervous, or you were that probably not willing to see the score because okay, all right.
No, that's a thing of me. Yeah, I was pretty nervous. I think the whole test environment was a little. I
You
didn't
said
prepare for that. Yeah.
yeah. Also, anything that you feel someone who's just starting out should do, because yours is a very, very different kind of story. I did not know that you were really at 770 level. At no point did I have any idea. First of all, we barely spoke because you just reached out once in the entire prep. You didn't ask any doubts. So, I mean, they barely had any interaction. So, let's just understand what should people do, like what should be the thorough part. Should they really take like speed, as you said they shouldn't, but still a couple of things that you would like to say they worked for you and everybody should emulate, please tell.
Yes. So I got, first thing I want to stress is that I used to do selection a lot instead of elimination. I like an answer choice. I try to convince myself that the others are wrong, and that was the first big step which I took to get rid of. So all these ingrained intuitions that I had, that no, okay, I like this answer, I think this is the right one, and not look at the other ones. I think that was the biggest weak point for me in CR. I realized that quite a lot, that CR, I would think, okay, this sound, look at the argument and be like, okay, the answer should have this. And it would be right some of the times because we've done so many arguments. But when you, so I would read what I want to read, not exactly what is written. So there was some option where I was expecting it to be, okay, this should be the answer. So I would skim so much that I would read what I want to read. And how much I can't stress that do not skim. Skimming is a habit we have in usual days of reading. When you're reading something, you're just skimming through. But GMAT has a reason for every single word present in that sentence, in that passage. They have every reason for every single word. So I cannot stress how much that you should not skim at all, even in RC at all. So you get the gist, but read every word. So the every word comes into the stressor. I think, qualified opinions come into the picture. In primary purpose, all that comes. That's where skimming is very, very detrimental. So that is one thing. And I think I had mailed doubts to the top 1% team, and that also helped, because I think I wanted explanations from someone, because even online you don't find that crisp explanations where you have like exact one single doubt about that thing,
Right.
and nobody else has that doubt. So the top team responds very, very quickly. So I got quite a few responses from there, and I solved my doubts there also. And other than that, in quant side, I think practice really, really helped, in the sense that I was pretty weak in quant, but you never realize how much by practicing you know what kind of questions are going to come, or you have a basic idea at least then.
But Madhura,
And
one
then
thing here, practice only when you have done the entire proper sessions, right? Or not just practice, right? I believe that is what. So you
yes,
must have learned and then practiced, right? Properly, because some people, they're in so much hurry, and I have to point this out to everyone, that they take a shortcut to the learning part and they just want to practice and they just don't improve after that. So I hope that is something that is very clear, that you would have done everything thoroughly and then practiced, right?
okay, I think I should, yes, you're right. I think I should have mentioned that. The first thing I did is, after your classes were, after between every classes, whatever you said, I did. But after that was done also, after the course ended, I watched all the videos pretty much again. And after only completing all the homework and doing all that, did I start doing practice that way. Yeah, that's the first thing I did. All the lectures, all the lecture videos, all the homework given, that, the 10 questions or 12 passages today or whatever. After everything was done, only then did I start practicing that way. That was the first thing, because if your concepts are not strong, no more amount of practice will help. Definitely. That's actually the first thing I did. So I have a
Right,
chart
right.
also which says finish this and then you go ahead with that. So yeah, that's
All
the
right.
first
Did you
thing.
make any error log or anything like that? And people do actually, that's why I'm asking.
Yes, so I had a Google sheet, since it was a tough typing out, I mean, writing down the question
Hmm.
every time. So I used to use Google Lens and scan the question, change it to text, and then use a Google Sheet for all the error log, because I had started to notice that there are certain questions which a similar pattern they follow, and certain questions which stand out. I think there's very, very one specific question. I think even now I remember in SC, about a queen sending, I think Columbus or someone on a journey, and that SC question stuck with me, because I'm like, this is, I have made a mistake 2 3 times now, so I really need to remember.
That rather than question, I think X parallel to Y
Yes,
sort of.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I really, I had a few questions which I repeatedly made mistakes. So I was like, okay, let's make this error log. I had an error log. I had an idioms Google sheet to keep a track of any new idioms which come up.
Mhm.
So, and I would revise. So revision is one thing I did. So I made the notes after going through all the videos and everything. I wrote whatever I think was important, and I wrote a few rules which practicing SC came up, like since is followed with present perfect tense and everything like that. So these rules I wrote down and I revised them, I think every week at least. In the beginning, it was pretty important. And towards the exam, before the exam, I think I revised them at least every day to keep a track of the rules of SC at least. RC and
Madhura,
CR.
one more thing. So were you working throughout or did you take a break? Because everyone asks while working, is it possible? Because that is a question. So we know, I know, but I'm just asking you that were you working at that time?
Yes, I was working throughout. I used to take 1 or 2 days of leave. I think I took before the exam. Exactly 2 days of leave I took before the exam,
So
and
this
I
is
was
for
working
everyone.
throughout.
Please listen to this. So many people ask me, should I take a complete break sabbatical? Yesterday we met someone who did not take any break, 780 scores. Today Madhura is saying no, it's not really required. So please, with your job, it can definitely be done. All right, let's not give ourselves excuses. It can be done. I mean, there are examples. That's why I wanted to bring this up because this is a common question I'm asked again and again. So how did you juggle then in that case? Tell us that also.
Yes, so I try to wake up early in the morning at around 6:30 or something, because my work starts at 9:30 or 10. So I would wake up then and I would try to squeeze in some amount of studying there. And then I made a rule actually that after, so basically you have to make the decision, or at least to cut off work at one point, not cut off exactly, but I used to normally work till 10 a.m., 10 p.m. at times. I was like, okay, this is not working. You have to focus during work to finish it early. So like cut off at 6:30 or 7, you have to put your mind in that place that you should finish all your work by then. And then instead of relaxing, chilling, watching Netflix, honestly, I was made that switch that I would take half an hour of walk. I'll take a walk for half an hour and then come back and study. That really helped. And yes, so it can completely be done. And one of the reasons I did not take a sabbatical is when I get a set of days off, I think the first go day goes in like kal se padenge, or I'll study from tomorrow, or I'll do that, and then that's how it goes. So I relax more that way than by doing this. So this way it really worked for me. I completely studied. Completely worked. I did not take more than 2 days, and I don't think anyone will if you have the determination in you to that you have to do this.
All right, all right. So I leave this open. If you have any questions, you can directly ask. Please tell your name before you ask a question. Please, anyone.
Hi, Madhura. Congratulations on your score. It's a fantastic score. So I have a question. I'm Sanchit, and I have a question regarding the exam day strategy. So GMAT offers us to select the sections which we can take in the order. So you said that quant was something that you were weaker at, and you developed it later on. So what would your suggestion be in terms of, should we pick up a stronger suit first, like a quant, and then go to a verbal, or like verbal for me personally is a little more tricky. So should I just go ahead with verbal first, given the concentration in the beginning of the exam? So just want to know your tips and suggestions on that.
Yeah. So hi Sanchit. So yes, so I had tried both the patterns once in a mock. I would suggest you try. It's better to try it also once. But yes, since quant was weaker for me earlier, but because verbal takes more of attention from me, at least I think, because verbal is very exhausting because it's pretty intense. So I did verbal first because of the amount of concentration and intensity it requires. And then I think one more thing is, during the exam I took every break, like the two optional breaks I took it, because I wanted to unload like the verbal techniques in my mind and actually sit in, okay, now I'm facing quant, so that's what I should be prepped for. So yeah, I did the verbal section first because of the amount of concentration it requires, and then went ahead with quant. Because for me, quant didn't, I mean, at least I think we can all agree that GMAT verbal is very intense. So I think that is the first thing I attempted. That's why the first one as verbal, because it takes more attention. And then I tended to
But he
quant.
was probably asking, while preparing, should you focus on one thing that is weak or should you prepare the stronger thing first, or should you prepare in parallel? I think that was the question.
Okay, if that's the question, then so basically, I focused on quant in the beginning to get it to a level, actually, to like, I know, like around 50 or 51 level. So that was my first focus, and then I focused on getting verbal to that. So you can tend to the weaker area first, I think. I mean, that is your choice actually. You should tend parallelly is something I would not exactly recommend, because I think switching is a bit tough, and switching takes a lot of mind space. So it's better you can tend to one area at a time, and then at one point when both come to a good level, you can do those things parallelly. But I think first work on your weak area, because even if you get a
So she's
verbal.
saying once the classes are over, by the way, when the classes are going on, you'll be doing both the things anyway.
Yes,
Right.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying, after the classes, obviously. after you've
Right.
done the classes completely and you've probably given one
I'll
more.
also suggest the same thing. Go with one area once your classes are done to master it to a particular level and then move to the other area. All right. Any other question anyone has, please? Otherwise, I think she also might be in a hurry. We also have to get on with the class. So please tell me anything else anybody has here to ask.
Just
Hi, Madhura.
one
I just had a
question.
small
Yeah.
question.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
one
yeah,
person. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Madhura. This is Shivani. Congratulations on your score. So I think I asked this question yesterday as well. It's the same for you. So how long did it take you, like from your classes to your self-prep to take in the test on the actual day? What was the time spent between, and how did that work out for you with a full-time job? Thank you.
Yeah, so I think I took first of all, I'm telling right off the bat, I procrastinated a lot because of the fact that you can schedule GMAT whenever you want. I think I was always like, I'm not prepared enough yet. I'll give it to next week. We can do it next week. We can do it next week. So that went on. But I was in the July batch. So that was the time I had the classes. Post which I sit and revise the course once more because of the like I needed to do the homework on time and I wanted to get the concepts in. So I revised all the lectures. And actually, to be honest, it shouldn't take more than 1 to 2 months of proper prep if you're doing it. But since I had this whole procrastination that, you can give the exam anytime you want, and I'm not prepared enough yet, I had a wake up call somewhere in November, somewhere of mid November, and I booked the date. And then I was like, okay, now we'll do the
So you
intense.
could have finished in about 3.5, 4 months, but you took probably 5.5 months. You could have done it easily in 3.5 months, right? That's probably 4 months, maybe max.
Exactly. And the whole procrastination, because you can schedule the exam, really, really detrimental. But yeah, that I could have done it in 3.5 to 4 months easily.
Okay,
And
we can take one last question and then, yeah,
Hi,
please.
hi Madhura. Kartikeya here. Congratulations on your wonderful score. So actually, I wanted to ask that how you managed to, keep practicing those questions. Like for RC, did you keep practicing everything regularly, or like you first completed the course and after that took like 4 questions every day and
4 passes.
15 questions?
I got it. Right. So did you prepare for some topics every single day, or did you just master and then keep it aside? Please just answer. Yeah.
as the course went on, I used to focus on what was being taught that week. But as RC was a tough thing, I think I followed what Sandeep said. I'm not 4 every day. I couldn't do 4 every day. That is my problem. But I did at least 2 every day, thinking that RC is something which needs to be mastered over time. And since I had a little weakness, I mean, I think I made a schedule actually 2 to 3 RC and 5 SC and like 6 CR or something like that. And I would do that set of questions every day. And once the concepts were taught, obviously, and then Sandeep said that we can go ahead and do this every day, a little. That's what I used to do.
All right. I think it's really wonderful to see a 770, and because you didn't even think about it, probably dream of this, it must have felt very special. And